Welcome back to Dandadan Anime Review, episode number 3. We're here reviewing episodes 5 through 7 of the series. Why 7? Purely because basically 7 was the conclusion of a story arc. That's pretty much the reason for it. So, in these 3 episodes, it's like the very next day where Okurun is like very nervous on Momo. Like, because of the fact, they kind of got close to each other throughout the first few episodes, and they're kind of nervous going back to school together. And also, basically, she, of course, goes back to her friends. Of course, they think there's a couple going on. And then, of course, basically, they spend the whole episode looking for each other. Of course, we're also introduced to a brand new character this episode. A character by the name of Ira Shiratori. Yep. And then, of course, basically, despite having his ball, basically having his, he think it was completed basically with the other one, and you go use the bathroom, and Frank gets out, oh crap, his balls are missing. And then of course they got embarrassed talking to each other. And of course when they run into each other later on and they're looking at each other all day, they seem like they kissed, and this led to something that made Okurun very angry. And then of course you go back to class, and the guy is accusing her of possibly sleeping around, and he gets angry at him for it, nearly hits him for it. He basically is using a terrible granny. Well, by the way, it turns out basically the reason why his ball was missing, he apparently didn't check, and he's got a little bit of weird tendency with him. So then, of course, basically, Sayako, Momo's grandma, proceeds to, excise him. And it turns out there's an aura in him that's not his. It turns out it's actually Turbo Granny. Yep. She hid inside of him right after her body died, and after being smacked by a big fan, pulling her out, and turns out just put her contents inside of this cat doll, but keeping the powers inside of Okurun. I could be later in the episode. Yeah, and of course, also apparently, Sayako allowed her to go out because she felt like it. She said, "Oh, Sayako said I can go out." He's like, "Really? Momo's grandma said that? Oh, cool." Yeah. And of course, she starts wandering out of school, and then she overhears something here. Apparently, she's got this might be sort of a ditzy girl. She's actually got Messiah. She's basically. Thinks she's some high and mighty person because she's basically kind of because she's an idol. Then she sees a woman with a red dress walking toward the school. A giant woman in a red dress. And someone can see her. Turbo Granny can see her too. And then later on, apparently, then they confront the woman who's known as basically Silky. I think it's Acrobat Silky, which she's voiced by Amber Lee Connors. And yes, I have heard of her stuff, like Restaurant in Our World, and on my smartphone. My Hero Academia as Miss Joke. Yeah, she's the voice of Brandish from Fairy Tail. High School DxD, Dragon Ball Super, Attack on Titan, To Love Ru, Why the Hell You're Here Teacher, ReZero, The Hidden Dungeon I Can Enter, Demon, How Not to Summon Demon Lord, Yasha Princess Half Demon, JoJo Bizarre Adventures, Combat Commends with Dispatched. Of course, she's in Bleach Out and Blood War, and that's it. Yeah, and of course they chase her on this abandoned Well, first which Momo's kidnapped by her because basically everyone thinks that, and of course basically Momo's friends actually support him due to the fact he actually stood up for her because the guy was talking trash about her, and causes him, and also the fact that he starts sort of avoid looking at her because the guy knew that she was cute, and he had no idea she was cute, no idea about that. And of course, people will probably start basically putting two together, these two as a couple yet, but not yet, per se. So, after a bunch of and also for some reason, she sees the hand that Momo's ghost hand, and tries to basically tries to excise her. And then it turns out that, the whole thing, she's stalked by a spirit who, she says that Acrobat Silky, and of course, basically everyone confronts her, and we have Turbo Granny with a smartphone. And apparently she had to look up research online about this. And she's like, well, I can't keep every single rookie yokai. But she stole one of Momo's friend's phones because she recognized it was the phone because of the back of it, which was so funny. Imagine seeing a cat statue walking around with a smartphone. I thought this was so funny. Yeah, so hilarious. And then, of course, throughout the whole this, the friends basically leave her. And then, of course, then Acrobat Silky proceeds to gobble up Era, Amurkan, and Momo, who's tied up in her hair. Momo proceeds to burn her hair. And supposedly the way she's beaten, and has a big fight with her all across this warehouse, and I think everybody's thinks she's beaten, and then of course go back off, and nope, apparently she is dead, and Turbo Granny is not in any hurry to help her because she has no powers, so Acrobat Silky, having a connection to her, offers to offer her aura to her to help to bring it back to life. And then we see that she used to be a woman. A woman with pale skin with long black hair, where she was constantly in debt. And it's shown the fact she was a prostitute, a janitor, and a cashier at some store. And she did this to support her daughter. And this last, of course, the daughter was a ballet dancer. And then two guys showed up, beat the crap out of her, kidnapped her daughter. Also, while they were beating her up, they proceeded to throw her through some door with glass. And then, of course, she wakes up, and then she chases after them. And then apparently she dies and becomes a yokai. Somehow. And she's looking for her daughter. And that's when she comes across Ira, who turns out she actually lost her mother about almost 10 years by the events of the series due to something. She apparently saw her mother at a funeral. She went to one funeral when she was very young. Now, as her father returning to this, I don't think he does. I think he's only seen his flashback. I don't remember he appears present day, of course. But then, of course, also in order to prove her sincerity, Acrobat Silky proceeds to destroy her own mouth. Rips up on her head. The proof she won't eat anybody else. And she offers, and of course, everyone's like, yeah, she's telling the truth. And then, of course, you have, Momo was basically tied up throughout 2 straight episodes with zip tie. Yeah, they zip tied her. Because they thought she was a demon. Yes, seriously. And then she transfers Acrobat Silky's aura to Ira, and then she just disintegrates, and she can't go to this place called the Afterlife. She goes to the void. She becomes nothingness. And just before she disintegrates, Ira proceeds to hug her, calls her mommy, and then she goes. What happens to the girl? No one knows. I don't think they ever did a follow-up to this at all, because Acrobat Silky only has one story arc. I would think, basically, with her aura, maybe she transferred her memories over to Ira. Maybe basically remember her daughter. Maybe we might find her actual name. But nope, they haven't really done anything with that. I think that might be an interesting story I think they could explore at some point. Like, Agrabah Silky had a very tragic backstory. Like, yeah, she was in debt, and she basically, and her debt collectors, because she couldn't pay, so it's like, their response is to beat her up and take her daughter. I'm like, yeah, what they did was wrong, but she kind of basically, I would not necessarily blame her for a situation like this. She had no choice in the matter when she became dead. Well, I can tell anyways. She's just still making ends meet, and she probably take money out in order to basically pay for her own expenses. So, in a way, she just a victim of basically what a lot of people basically suffer through. They're at times trying to make ends meet, and they have to basically take money out in order to support special stuff for their kids. That's what I can tell anyways about this. I don't have kids, so I can't exactly support that. I can't exactly be sympathetic with that, but I know it's like I have kids around because I have nieces and nephews. Alright? But this is a great story arc, and of course, basically, well, we have roughly 5 more episodes left to go, and then we're done with this. What I'm going to do next, I'll decide at that point. Okay? So yeah, the particular view, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. Next up is a video I wanted to do about 2 days ago, but I did not get time, but now I do. Anime in 2024. Okay? See you. Bye.